Hey guys, I think that this drone right here is the best drone you can buy right now. Yes, there are a few caveats, but there are a few reasons for this. And they start with ease of use, features, and also the quality of the footage. So let's break it down. This is our review of DJI Mini 4 Pro. The ease of use. DJI has been doing this for a while, so the controls that are being developed are actually very easy to use. And they're actually very easy to use for anybody who just picks it up first time. So that's definitely a massive plus. The second thing is its size. So it's 249 grams and it's nice and small, which allows it to get into more locations. And also, due to local regulations, in many places you don't actually need it to have a license or register it, and you can just pick it up and fly. The biggest improvement from version 3 is the Omnidirectional Sensors, which allows you to basically fly it anywhere, and you're gonna have safety on all sides. So whether you go up, down, left, right, or side to side, which means that you can get into more narrow spaces, and if you're not as experienced, the drone will help you protect itself. Yes, of course, if you go a bit crazy or if you turn on sports mode, that is not the case because then the sensors get turned off. But in normal operation, it should keep you out of trouble. To add to this, the new obstacle avoidance system will automatically brake and fly around the object. And again, it does it the same way. It goes up, down, left, right, and side to side. So it doesn't actually matter which direction you go, which is very, very beneficial. With the previous drones, you could only do certain directions like the forwards and backwards or left to right. This just provides a little bubble around. So let's say you lose connection like we did earlier. It will actually determine, okay, there's an object in front of me, I need to fly around it, or it's below me and whatever else. That's super useful, especially for novices who don't have too much experience with this. The other thing they've improved with this and also the new controllers is the range. This has now a much improved range, which just gives that little edge of if you're flying further away or if you have obstacles in the way. So just because you have a big range in line of sight, that also means that the range is improved when you have obstacles. Let's say you have trees or buildings in the way, you're gonna have better time. The last few are just nice to have. Because it's small by weight, it's also physically smaller. That means it has smaller propellers and it's quieter. So it's more inconspicuous when you record somewhere in a more busy environment. And also, like me right now, I'm recording on the microphone on me. I can definitely hear it, but it'll be far easier to remove this noise in post than if you had a big drone just blowing air everywhere. And the last one is it has an auxiliary light for landing. So if you record at night, because it also has night features, it has a light to turn on below. So when you're landing onto an uneven surface, you can actually tell and you can kind of swerve it around. Otherwise, if you land kind of sideways and hit a rock, it might just stumble. So that's something to bear in mind. Next up is features. And in some ways they're small improvements, but it's just taking it to the next level. So the primary one is 4K 60, but now with HDR enabled. So when you have a shot like this, where I'm exposed more in the dark as I'm standing in the shade, and then there's brighter scene at the back, you have a lot more flexibility to get more information into the scene. Then next, you have the ability to take pictures. It uses a 48 megapixel lens. So you can take a 48 megapixel picture during the day, or if you want to during the night, bring it down to 12 megapixel, and it will help you preserve some of the details in the dark and remove some of the noise. So that is done using pixel binning. For those who want to do more action-packed videos or, I don't know, record a waterfall or something with high speed, you can actually now record at 4K 100 FPS in slow motion mode. Or you can actually go to 200 FPS in 1080p mode, which is pretty impressive for a drone which is worth under $1,000. In fact, it's way less than that. It's 1,000 Sing dollar here in Singapore. So it's actually a pretty budget-friendly drone, but more on that a bit later on. The one thing people complained about the Mavic 3 Pro was its flat profile was only D-Cine-like, not D-Log. Well, that's changed. And DJI has put in D-Log M into this drone. So you can film in a more flatter profile and then do your color corrections as you please. That's more for pro users because you need to learn how to do color corrections. Personally, I prefer leaving it on auto and just working with it this way. But if you want to get that extra bit of dynamic range, the D-Log M is the way to go. Also, you can pinch into zoom if you need to. You can do it in 4K and 1080p modes, but bear in mind that is digital, so you will lose some of the quality. And lastly is active track. DJI drones have been great at this for a long time now. So you can use the DJI's active track if you're filming alone, or if you just want to get some sort of a sports action or a smooth pan, or let's say if somebody's cycling or somebody driving, as long as you don't drive too fast. This is where one of the caveats comes in. It is still a mini drone, so it doesn't have the highest top speed. Even in sports mode, it's not going to be enough for following a fast-paced car. But if you have somebody on the bike or on a bicycle, this will be plenty. So turn on active track and you have an extra assistant in your pocket. So some of the things to improve on this drone would be, well, having extra lenses, like the more recent Mavic Pro and also Mavic Air. They now have 2 or 3 lenses. So I think it's just a matter of time until the lower end drone starts to pick up some of the features from there. Maybe 1 or 2 more generations, and they're gonna have to just add in extra lenses here. But in general, extra lenses would be nice to get different kind of perspectives. But, you know, they have to segment their lineup in some ways. And this is probably the best way to do it, but just keeping the low-end drone with just a single lens. But we'll see how that goes. The other things you can improve is, well, generally I'd probably say it's not worth getting this drone without the proper controller, because using your phone as a controller is just not good enough. But that elevates the price to a considerable amount. The drone itself is reasonably cheap. Well, reasonably. If you look at the prosumer cameras, this is cheap, and I'm recording in it the whole time. And the last thing is its video quality. For that, well, we've been recording on this drone the whole time, and you can see the A-roll quality, and also we're gonna throw in some B-roll for you to compare. It is the bottom of that lineup right now, but I think the quality is now good enough on this drone to be used in really anything. Our general use case right now for YouTube is recording on our Sony a7S III camera, and we record 4K 60, and then we can manage it however we want. And that is a high-end camera. So when compared to that, it's still not a bad result. Of course, you're not getting the best possible dynamic range, and you're gonna have less bokeh and whatnot. But realistically speaking, for this kind of drone, you're not gonna be filming a shot this close up. Rather, you're gonna be filming scenic things from further away. There you can't see the quality fall off that much. But we've been doing this for long enough to go through different kind of equipment. And ultimately, what it comes down to is the equipment that we have in our pockets. We would love to have a carrying case with everything that we own, but that's unrealistic. Most of the time, you're gonna put in your essentials into the bag and go out shooting, which brings it to this drone. This drone, I believe, is now good enough for us to go out and buy it and keep it in our bag. It's small, it's convenient. So the best drone you can have is the one that's with you at all times, so you can quickly set it up and go. You know, having bigger drone is gonna have better quality. You're gonna have better features. But ultimately, if you can't carry with you all the time, and if you miss that shot that you wanna get, it's not really useful. This is why I believe this is the best drone in their lineup right now. What do you guys think? Would you actually pick up this drone and just have it with you at all times, just in case there's a shot you wanna take? Or would you spend more money for a more purpose-built drone? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, subscribe for more content like this. We'll see you guys in the next time.